people were in my personal business, including Jessica Lee. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? Because if Jessica is now accusing Colleen Ballinger of all this stuff, it's like, that's not true. Like, me and my son were making shows, right? And so one of the shows was about sex toys. And he's like, what if they have a doll and whatever? And he's actually talking like a Barbie doll, like a boy with a Barbie doll. I'm thinking that Blake is talking about an actual sex doll because at some point when we were traveling, he ended up looking at Asian anime porn, y'all. I was like, boy, you can't look at this. So we ended up getting into a fight over it, all this different stuff, right? And that was it. And guess what? It was because of some of these spirits that they've been having or whatever. So they were trying. He was like, he smelled like he was like having sex or something. He was sweating, and you could smell the sweat. Like, what the fuck going on with him? So I was like, listen, you can't do that right now. And we started talking about it. I was like, you don't have to do that right now. So this is what it is. When they was doing that stuff, we was little. That's what they want. They want us to beat our kids for being sexual. So I was just like, you know what? It's not time for you to do that. It's not time for you to look at porn. And it wasn't the fact that it was porn. It was the fact that it was anime because it was a cartoon. And this girl that I met in Dallas, this is when I just got back and Carla put me out of the house, right? So I just got back from Dallas and I met this girl, and this girl was like, um, that's what she was saying, that my son was going that he was looking at porn. I was like, my son is not looking at porn or whatever, you know. And I'm telling her, and I got it just really pissed me off because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? My son isn't doing it. So what it is just this group of ignorant ass people, like they young and old and they stupid. And it's like they actually see themselves as doing something to other people. Like it's like they might see this shit as like education or telling people that they evil people. I don't know what the fuck they think about, but it's like we have to stop them because it's like a cult. Like I told y'all, she said her husband. This is the stuff that she was saying before the whole thing with Kobe Bryant and stuff. She said her husband um was a pilot, and she took his pilot's license away from him, and she took the deed to the license because her husband was a narcissist. And so she had that in a tub or something like that. Look, y'all. So I'm just like, okay. So those are two things that had not happened that she spoke of. Y'all understand what I'm saying? When I was on a trip in Dallas, this is when I went to go for a training for the Parole Museum. Okay. I stayed at the Dallas downtown youth hostel. These are two things that she spoke of that did not happen yet, right? And I don't know really about her husband, but the Kobe Bryant thing, I think she had something to do with that shit too. Because, like I said, when we got back, we were staying at an Airbnb in St. Louis, and Blake ended up looking at porn or whatever. And it's like, I'm not gonna hurt you or anything. I'm just trying to tell you right now that this is not something you should be looking at. Like, this is not. It's not time. Like, maybe when you're 16, I don't know, but right now it's not time for you to look at that. So then we get to the point where um we were in our house, and so I was just like discussing mental health, and I started discussing sex. And Blake is actually my little producer and director. I'm not joking. He'll be, mom, don't forget about this, mom, don't forget about that. And we did the best that we could with the little that we had. Okay. So, and he was stealing stuff out of the car. Like, they stole my makeup bag, y'all. They stole my makeup out of my fucking car. That's before he took the car. He stole the makeup. So it's like, I'm talking about, we did the best that we could with the little that we had. He stole my storage. We did the best that we could with the little that we had. So all the shows that y'all see in the house, we have basically nothing. Okay, we have nothing. Even though we got a whole fucking storage of shit in Texas. So we in the house, and that's it. Like, we just doing stuff, like, and so they listening through the wall. So these people are in our business again. So now people think that we doing all this inappropriate stuff, but I'm just talking about the pussy mushroom, which is the cup. That's what somebody's trying to discuss now. Tell Blake to tell you about the cup. No, Blake don't need to tell you anything. It's just something that I do for the show. Like, y'all don't need to be asking him to tell you anything. And then the sex doll show was just a mistake because I thought he was talking about sex dolls. He was actually talking about just a kid having a Barbie doll, a boy having a Barbie doll, something like that. So that was it. Blake would get toys, and sometimes when I didn't know how to get him horses at first, so if it was something with a horse, like Rita was like, "Don't worry about the dog, like don't worry about none of that stuff." He about to take the clothes off the horse. He had first he had a horse, but it was like a Barbie horse, right? And he was like, Rita said, "Don't worry about none of that stuff." He was like, he had two Barbie. One came with and he was little, y'all, 2 or 3 years old. He was like 2 or 3. And so Rita say, "Don't worry about it. He a boy. He gonna take all them clothes off and just play with that horse. He don't get no fuck about them horses." I mean, and Rita don't cuss. I'm cussing, right? So she was like, "Yeah, he ain't gonna worry about that stuff." So then finally we went to the toy store one day, and I started getting him the model horses, right? So that was it. You see, I'm talking about. So somebody just kept wanting some situation where they would say he gay. Let me tell y'all what happened, y'all. This how the gay shit came up. I was on campus and I was a babysitter. And I used to babysit this little girl named Soraya. And I think Soraya just ended up being gay, right? So it was another girl on campus too. She reminded you of Willow. But her and the little girl look alike. So this man actually was like, "I hope your children are gay because you made my daughter gay." Right? This is the little girl's father. Dude, I'm not even fucking gay. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? He actually did not want me to watch her after I just came out and was like, "Okay, I'm gay." And like I told y'all, I came out for Sarah. My daddy started fucking with me too when I came out and was like, "Okay, I'm gay." And I just looked at them like, "Okay, now I see how y'all are." You get what I'm talking about? Like, it's like, "Okay, now I see how you are." Which, cause it ain't nothing that's changing, y'all. That's why I was like, "Fuck y'all, I be gay then, bitch." So then my mama, she wasn't tripping off of it, right? Because she knows Sarah, like she know Boo, like it's like my mama wasn't tripping off that shit at all. Then one day my mama just was like, out of the blue, she was like, "Oh, you gonna be gay and you gonna be in here humping up." It was like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like sometimes my mother would just come and just say some of the most inappropriate shit, and my mother is like really open and stuff like us. Like we not no closed off people. You see what I'm saying? The sex and stuff. So that was it. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like when these people possess them and stuff, you see what I'm saying? The conversation be like just some old backwoods type conversation. You be like, what the fuck is this person talking about? So they constantly in our business. And so when they came and tried to kidnap my son, it was because I was teaching my son to be a businessman. I was teaching him a business strategy about how to look at his target market and how to market towards his target market. My son started to get offended, and it was like the only reason he was offended is because Marco was in there. And so I'm thinking Marco is the person that's probably he steal something from my grandfather or something. So it's like he was in the house, okay? He actually got upset because he thought I was trying to tell him to use other people. Like you have to. That's your target market. It's not that you're not using people. It's just the fact of you got to be honest with yourself about your target market. So I say, Blake, you see how all the kids love you and stuff. I was like, you could still market toys and all that stuff too. You see what I'm talking about? This motherfucker in my house listening to our school and getting mad about it. Once again, in my business. So now Jessica Lee is on this thing talking about this thing with Colleen Barringer. And that's the part that's stupid is that kids can know about tampons and cups and periods and bacterial vaginosis and cancers, all this stuff, because those are things that they have to actually prevent in the future. And when kids know those things, they have a better outlook and understanding of life too, because now I understand my body. Instead, we are just always bullied by people that don't have that type of sense. But then when they get around somebody else and they mention it or they have that type of sense, now all of a sudden they can remember what we were doing and saying at the time. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? It's like, you gonna stop me from teaching the children and teaching my son, but then when you get to Los Angeles and Texas, now you know how to teach them about their period. And you don't, because they never let you finish the conversation. Listen, if I don't ever finish the conversation, that's as far as they can go. They would actually have to assign somebody else to do the job. That's how stupid they are. So all this stuff is just still based on somebody eavesdropping and being in our fucking business. And we don't bother you. Y'all follow us and get in our business and try to tell us what we supposed to be doing. I'm sorry, we don't need to live like that. My son needs to be educated, and so do the children. But when it comes to dick and pussy, y'all be so ready to talk about dick and pussy. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all be so ready to talk vulgar and nasty. And it's like, we don't need to do that. You understand? So it's like, it is a big difference in what y'all do. It's a huge difference in being ignorant like that. And that girl, I'm not joking. If y'all find that girl or that trans person, I am telling you, that bitch really did set Kobe Bryant up to be killed in that airplane. It is not a fucking joke. I've been telling y'all this the whole goddamn time. It's like, all y'all gotta do is sit some little FBI motherfuckers out here to follow me, and y'all gonna see exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. That bitch is a fucking murderer, and I'm telling you, she a kidnapper too. Ain't no, I'm talking about straight up was just telling me my son was looking at porn. I'm like, my son was looking at no fucking porn. Y'all, a week or so later when I got back, guess what? I can't even say it didn't come across his screen. And if that's the case, if you sent that shit to my phone, to my son's phone, guess the fuck what? That's what I was trying to tell y'all. Y'all pedophiles, and that's child endangerment. Y'all need to be locked the fuck up. Have a good day.